Today, from the amazingly beautiful Duke Gardens in Durham, North Carolina, we're going to get the shot with two Leicas of eras gone by. The Leica TL2 and the Leica X1, both crop sensor, fairly old cameras. One is over 10 years old, the other is 7 or 8 years old or so. Gonna roam around Duke Gardens, get some shots, show you what these older cameras are capable of, and then I'll take you back into the studio. We'll talk a little bit about how I made the shots, what I was thinking, and how they look. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Phil with Photo Gear Fun here. Today we've got a couple older Leica cameras, both crop sensor, both fairly old, one 24 megapixel TL2 and one 12 megapixel X1. We're gonna roam Duke Gardens and check it out and see if they're still relevant, even good or great in 2023. So I'm gonna grab some shots. And as we go, I'll pop in with some video clips and talk a little bit more about Duke Gardens and a little bit more about these cameras. So it is early spring here in Durham, and the flowers are out in full force here at Duke Gardens. Such a beautiful spot. If you're in the Durham or Raleigh area, definitely stop by Duke Gardens and check it out. It's a brisk morning here, but as you can see, the crowds are out. I'm gonna get some shots of these for sure. I also brought the Fuji. I don't know if I'm gonna take any shots with the Fuji or not, but I've got it with me, the XH2. Lots of people here snapping photos. Alright, let's grab some pictures of these beautiful flowers. Okay, here we go. We're gonna look at some of the shots. We'll start out with the X1. You can see here, 12 megapixels. You can see all the information on the right hand side, the dimensions. This is shot at f2.8, and I'll compare some TL2 against the X1, but this looks pretty good. This is just a DNG file. They shoot raw DNG, and then I'll show you a black and white. So there's a few simulations on the X1 and the TL2. This is their monochrome simulation, so this comes out as a JPEG. Looks pretty good. I was pretty impressed with this little camera. Have a look at the sign. I usually just do this one to see how crisp things are. You can see there's a little bit of CA there, but shot at f2.8. It's a 35 millimeter equivalent lens, so this is the DNG file that has not been edited at all, and then this would be the natural JPEG that comes out of there for. There are tons of flowers in bloom. I didn't actually use macro mode on a lot of these. There is a macro mode that you can go into, but this, you can see this is at f8. Just love the colors. Again, this is a raw file that has not been edited at all. And then here is the JPEG. So you can see a little bit of sharpness added there. The color is just a little bit different, but I kind of like the way the JPEGs come out of this. X1, here's another shot. Not the greatest focus there. I did shoot at f8, but still kind of missed. And I did find that this misses focus at times, or it's definitely not fast to focus, so maybe I'm just impatient. Here's an example of the dynamic range here. You can see this is a little bit blown out, but then you don't even have to go far, just go to the JPEG and you can see there's some recovery there, those highlights, so not all the highlights are blown out. There are a bunch of tulips here. Impossible to get a shot without people in it at Duke Gardens this time of year. That is the raw file, so we'll just go here and quickly go into develop and just hit it with an auto. And you can see how it would look with some editing versus how it looks out of camera with the JPEG. This is their natural. Here's a shot of the docks as you walk over across the pond, some ducks over here. Again, pretty impressed with the X1. There's the black and white simulation. And just a couple more shots here with a couple of different simulations. So this is monochrome again in the X1. This is vivid. And then this is the natural kind of a muted look. You can see there's not a lot of depth of field here. I shot this one at f4. Probably should have gone a little higher, but this gives you an idea on the colors that come out of this camera. Really, really nice. And here is the Japanese bridge with a couple just finishing their walk down through it. For a 10-plus-year-old camera, this X1 is pretty impressive. Sorry about that last clip. I forgot to turn the microphone on, so here we are at the pond. Got some great shots of flowers. Really beautiful, lots of tulips over there. I'm gonna go over to, there's a bridge over here, Japanese bridge, and get some shots of that. So waterfall, we'll grab some waterfall shots, anything else that catches my eye as we go. All this video is shot on the DJI Pocket 2, by the way. Really easy. I've got 4 cameras with me, so I took this little one, make it a little easier. I've got the Fuji, like I said, with me as well. I haven't shot anything with the Fuji, it's just too cumbersome. So let's go ahead and grab some more shots. There's a little dock over there that I'll get some shots of too. Probably look good in monochrome. And then we'll see what else we can find here at the beautiful Duke Gardens in Durham, North Carolina. Shot from the little waterfall that they have here. Get an idea on the dynamic range, so let's go ahead and see how this is with dynamic range. You can see the deep shadows here, so let's just do the old HDR look. Pull up those shadows, bring down those highlights. Looks pretty good. I'm not sure what the dynamic range is on this, but I think it did a pretty good job here. And this is the TL2, so I'm going to compare the TL2 for this shot with the X1. So here's the TL2, and we'll just hit this with a quick auto, and you can see how that looks. And you can see again the dimensions here. So this is a 24 megapixel, the other is a 10. This is shot at ISO 100, 18 millimeters. Let's go ahead and compare these two. Okay, so this is a comparison of the two side by side. Very similar shot, not exactly the same. I'll take this down to 100%. Just to give you an idea on what it looks like. The TL2 versus the X1. The TL2 here on the left. Looks very similar. I'm having a hard time telling the difference other than the focal length. This was shot at a fixed focal length on the X1. But other than the size of the prints themselves or the photos themselves, I think it's, not a huge difference really. This is from the TL2, and this is the Sigma 18-50 lens, f2.8. Just a lone little tulip there. Kind of some similar shots here. Just to see, you can see at f2.8 there's almost no CA on that Sigma lens, and here's the natural film simulation coming out of the TL2. This one seems to do a little better job with focus, close distance, so you can see I focused here on these, whatever these things are. But that is, again, these are all raw, and then there's the one out, JPEG straight out of camera, so that's the muted kind of natural look. The flowers are just amazing. If you ever get a chance, like I said in the video, to go to Duke Gardens, definitely check it out. I'm impressed with both cameras, to be honest, but the X1 I think surprised me a little more. I expected the TL2 to be good, and it is, but the X1 really surprised me. Some more colorful shots over here with the TL2. A group of tulips. I just kind of like the color of this flower. So again, that is the JPEG, and it kind of gives that different look to it. I think there are 5 or 6 different JPEG simulations. This is the raw. Kind of looked like how that flower looked dirty. Here's a similar shot to the TL2 raw. Again, another similar shot. Colors look very similar to me. They look... Actually, it's hard to tell the two apart, to be honest. I'm trying to get a little artsy here. Here's the bridge that you can see there. We're at 18 millimeters, ISO 400. So I'll show you just a couple more and give you an idea. So this is the same bridge, and again, they look very similar. The clarity and the color and everything looks very, very similar. Let's just go ahead and check out the dynamic range here. This is the raw file, and we'll do that same test that we did. I would imagine there's probably a little more dynamic range in this sensor, and I guess you can kind of see it. But both of them look really, really good to my eye. Alright, that's going to do it from the beautiful Duke Gardens. Another episode of Getting the Shots. The Leica TL2 and X1. We're at the beautiful fountain right on the entryway here. Hope you enjoyed that video. Let me know what you thought of those two cameras. You can get the TL2 used for about $1,000, and I think the X1 you might be able to find used for $600 or $700. If you enjoyed this type of content, please consider subscribing. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Get out there and have your photo gear fun, and I'll talk at you again in the next video.